Hi, I'm Andrew Armstrong and welcome to the back office teardown lab. I'm looking at my camera actually, it's down to 1 bar. I'm having a problem with my camera batteries, or rather probably my camera charger. So I don't know whether to trust it or not. So if there's a strange jump cut in the middle of this, that's probably what it was. Especially if I'm sounding particularly agitated because I've had to go back and re-record it. Or perhaps you'll just never see this video because that's what will have happened and I will have just done screw this. So if you recall, I bought this Andor thing, and it's you put it on your camera, you use like this head that goes on there and you can mount your camera on this, and the idea is you could set this up in whatever configuration you like, yeah, and then use it for doing a panning shot, and it looks a little bit like a cool robot there. It's obviously a geared motor and it's using a very weird battery that I don't have a spare of. It's not a rechargeable thing like most things are these days. In fact, how the hell did that come off? There we go. So I've got that off here, and if you just push the button you can see that whirling around. And I've seen this for crazy money in shops. I've seen it for like $100 just for this. Can't remember how much I paid. If you want to find out, go and look at my earlier video when I actually bought the thing. But this is the battery. It says lithium battery, CR2 3 volts. And I don't think it's rechargeable. I'm pretty sure it's not. Although it is the same sort of blue as the regular blue rechargeable batteries you find in things. But I'm going to put that there. I'm not sure. In fact, what bloody way did that come out? Was it that way? I'm just going to check. Yes. In fact, I'm pretty sure you could probably put that in either way and it might just work. But there is a sort of a PCB in there. So I wanted to do a bit of a teardown on this because I was sort of curious about it. And I just wanted to have a sneaky little look in there. And I've noticed it does have a kind of teeny tiny Allen. So let's hope that this multi-blade 7-piece set has something that'll do it. This has got Torx, but Torx and hex kind of do fit. Yes, they do. They do indeed. And that's a rather wonderful piece of serendipitous luck that that's happened. So we're just going to take this apart. Let's have a look-see. Because I kind of think someone asked me something. I can't remember what. Does it have a speed controller? Of which the answer was no. I just rounded that. Damn it! Yeah. I'm going to jump cut anyway because I need to go find now some precision Allen keys. Right, this could be a long teardown video. If these just spin. Come on now. Oh, was that a slip? God, I think it was, you know. What have they done here? These grub screws. No! That is shocking. Okay, so first things first, you got a little grub screw in there that you can see, and may have just nulled it. I don't know if I can get that out. That's a bloody problem, isn't it? So first problem there, that thing. And if you're going to want to take that out now, you're going to have to drill it out. But I don't think there's any way I can avoid it because that's basically the motor shaft. Try just ever so gently prising this, and this could be the end of this gadget already. Just going to find a small screwdriver there. Sorry. No, it's just not going to go. Cack on a plate. Right, leave me with this a minute. I'll go back to you. Right, I can tell you I haven't got anything to hand. I don't have any reverse left-handed drill bits, so I can't drill that out right now. And it's a bit too fine to start dicking around with a sort of heavy tool, so I'm just going to have to leave that for now. And this knurled sort of nut, which you can see on these, you can undo, does not undo on this. In fact, I kind of stripped a couple of teeth. I think that's all a fixed part, basically, that just screws in that. However, I have been able to decipher something because I was thinking, okay, people ask, can you adjust the speed on this? So clearly you can't adjust the speed because it's a fixed gear. You can hear that, right? It's a fixed gear. However, when I pop this in, this was the battery. You can see it's spinning in a clockwise motion. If I flip the battery around, it's spinning in an anti-clockwise motion. So there's nothing clever in this. All this is basically is a motor with a gear, right? a battery. That's your power source, is your battery, and then you've got this, which is clearly just a switch, and that's a push switch. So this model doesn't have it, but other models may well, where all they need to do is modify the function of this. Basically, you could either fit it in this end or the other end. There's plenty of space in here for a little microcontroller, so you could have it that every time you push it, it would actually just go a different speed, because it can just vary the speed by the amount of current it's going to send to the motor. And I know that's going to reduce your torque at low speeds, but I think, to be honest with you, you could probably get away with it because it's pretty good as is. You know, if you think of that's it just slipping now on my bench, but I'm probably pushing it down hard enough that if I was pushing my finger into your eye at this point, it would probably be liquefying it. So yeah, it's got reasonable amount of torque, so I reckon you could dial that down. So I think it's time to do an experiment. We can pop this out, and if we are ever so lucky, and it's going to be tricky to do, and I'm going to zoom right out so we've got maximum area for playing. So we know that this was a 3-volt battery, so first thing I'm going to do is set my bench power supply to no more than 3, and when we change the voltage, we're going to be very cautious and disconnect the power supply voltage. There's a switch on this power supply, which basically there's 2 switches, so one's an on-off and one's an output on-off, so at least you can set the voltage before you set the output on. So currently the output is off, and I've probably done a bad job of this. I'll just show you what I've done. I've basically bent this proby thing to go and grip around one of those springs inside, but it's probably a bit too aggressive in that once it grips onto that battery spring, we want to be able to undo it at some point in the future without ruining it. So I'm going to kind of do it like that, if you can see that. Just hold it down there. Little P shape. We're always reconfiguring these probes. I don't even know what they're called, to be honest with you. They must have a name. Not quite got the bite. So I think maybe just flatten it. Twazzers. And I do apologise. I know it's going to be jumping in and out of focus, as these bloody things like to do. But there you go. I'm going to go with that simple shape. Again, feed that in, and that's in. So basically it's locked in now as part of that assembly. And then I'm going to take the other probe. So we don't have a sort of H bridge on my unit, so we're going to have to... Actually, we don't really care about direction, do we? We can easily test for that. Now, before I do that, why don't we put this in here? And that way we can actually try it out. And we probably can quite easily just ground this off the chassis then as well. Somewhere. Easy is probably not the right word, but there's just nowhere. There's nowhere handy for this to sort of bite into. Don't worry, we'll just touch it off. How about that? So that's that. We're on 3 volts or 2.93. Here we go. And it's using, let's see when it's running. So when it's running without load, it's using 32 milliamps, 30 milliamps. And then when I'm shorting it out, stopping it totally, I'm stalling it, it's 148 milliamps. And that's it. I'm hearing a strange noise there. I wonder if that's just because it doesn't have a load on it, or if I've just really ruined it. Nah, I think it's fine. So let's see how slow we can do it then. So I've knocked it down to 1.6 volts there. So hard to tell though what kind of torque you've got to play with at this point. I mean, it's still trying to go. That is slow now. So that's probably your sort of range really. I don't think you'd want to go much lower. If I can just try to get this sort of at least semi-permanently hooked to something, we can actually just try to dial it in on the fly. Just put it here on this. There There we go. Right. So that's... Oh, it's so shonky, isn't it? I don't know why you're watching this. Go watch something else. Go watch Big Clive or something. Someone who knows what they're doing. Right. 1.6, and I'm gonna wind it up as we're moving. Woohoo! That's 4.5 now. Woohoo! That's got some torque. But I'll show you what it's like at 3. So that's the 3. See, it's still cocking its leg. It's still trying to cock its leg from the torque. It's okay. 0.4. 0.6. 1 volt. 1.6. 2 volts. 2.7. There you go. It's at 2.7 seems to be its where it wants to do something. So that's where you're getting some torque being developed. You're not really getting enough torque at anything else. Actually 2.4, 5, 6, 7.9. Whoa! That's 3. So yeah, brilliant. I mean, it's if you buy one of these and you need a speed control, obviously you're just going to go and buy the one which has a speed control. But if you've already got one and you're bored, I would suggest you could do a speed control. I wonder how you do it though. I would probably, if I was going to do it electronically, I'd probably take a micro and just have a few different kind of outputs, you know, via like transistors or whatever. Well, in fact, how many milliamps was that? Actually, yeah, you need transistors, and you could just have a different kind of just resistor on each one, couldn't you? You could just be shunting each one. Have 3 or 4 different settings output on the micro that just switches between them, if you're going to be bothered with that. Or you could just fit some switches in, or maybe a variable resistor. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything clever. And look at that. It's interesting to try to think, how do you set this up to make it spin about this center point axis? And I don't think you quite can. There, the old Andoa. I have yet to find a use for this though, because most of my filming is in this kind of, you know, way you're experiencing it now. But one day I'll do something of note, of merit perhaps, and then I shall be recognised by my YouTube peers. But I'm not going to count on that. So that's been of some use to you. Interesting stuff, eh? Please comment, like, share, subscribe, and as ever, guys, this should be that way. Look, so you can read the label. Andoa. Thank you for watching.